Okay, let's talk about AI. It feels like it's everywhere, right? And maybe you're feeling a little overwhelmed by it all. You are definitely not alone. Today, we're going to look at a whole new way of thinking about our future with technology, and we're going to do it through this really interesting concept called Pathfinder Campus.
So let me just ask you this straight up, because I think it's on a lot of our minds. Are you trying to outsmart AI? It seems like every day we're told we have to keep up, get ahead, somehow figure out how to beat the machines at their own game. But here's a thought. What if that is completely the wrong race to be running?
And this quote, it just nails it. No one can win that race, and maybe, just maybe, we shouldn't even be trying. Because the future, well, it doesn't belong to the people who try to compete with AI. It belongs to those who learn to collaborate with it by getting better at something else entirely. Something uniquely and powerfully human.
So, if we're not supposed to be competing with AI, what are we supposed to be doing? Well, to get that, we have to first get real about the world we are walking into, a world that is being fundamentally rewired by automation.
And listen, this isn't about factory robots building cars anymore. The wave of AI that's here right now, it's aimed directly at what we've always called knowledge work. You know, the ability to find information, analyze it, and then make a plan. Yeah, that's what's being automated, and that's the big shift we're all facing.
But here's the fascinating part. As AI gets better and better at handling the what, we humans are left with this deeper, more urgent need. You could call it a rising human hunger.
Just look at this contrast. On the left, that's what AI is getting scarily good at. But on the right, that's our stuff. Belonging, purpose, growing alongside other people, our identity. These aren't just tasks on a to-do list. They are the absolute core of the human experience, and you just can't automate that.
So, you know, when the sheer pressure of being productive gets handed over to machines, our focus is going to shift. The things we truly crave, I'm talking real connection, genuine clarity about where we're going, and a deep sense of purpose, they don't just become nice-to-haves. They're going to become absolutely essential.
And that right there, that's the gap that needs to be filled. Which brings us to the solution we're exploring today. This idea of a totally new kind of campus, one that's designed for this new world.
So the first big idea, the first pillar, is that this place is a compass, not a course or a map. Think about it. In a world where AI can give you any fact, any piece of knowledge in an instant, what we're going to lack isn't information, it's direction, it's meaning. We'll need help figuring out who we are more than ever before. And here's what using that compass actually looks like. It's about taking the time to figure out who you really are, underneath all the noise. It's about making sense of this crazy, fast-changing world. It's about actually naming what matters to you. And, maybe most important of all, it's about learning how to ask the right questions for your own life.
But look, a compass doesn't do you much good if you don't have the support to actually follow it, right? That's where the second pillar comes in, a human-first community. Sure, an AI can simulate a conversation, but it can never, ever replace the messy, beautiful, real experience of sharing a journey with other people.
I mean, just imagine a place where it's actually safe to say, I'm not sure what's next. A place where you can watch other people grow and be inspired by them, where you actively replace that feeling of isolation with real community. That's how you build the interpersonal skills that AI can't even begin to understand.
All right, pillar number 3 goes even deeper. It tackles this huge question. If AI starts to handle more and more of what we've always called work, then what are we for? We're going to be facing some pretty big existential questions.
And this is the first one. It's so simple, but so powerful. If your identity isn't just your job title, then what am I for? What's my role here? Which, of course, leads you right to this next question. If my value isn't just measured by my output at work, what does it actually mean to contribute now? To my family, to my community, to the world? And then, the biggest one of all, when you strip away all those old definitions, what is it that truly, deeply makes my life feel meaningful? The idea here isn't to have you answer these alone in a dark room. It's to create a space to explore them together.
Now, this whole thing doesn't mean we just ignore the technology. Of course not. The fourth pillar is all about being a gentle on-ramp to living with AI. But the wording here is so important. This is not AI training. It's AI comfort training. It's about building the emotional confidence and practical know-how to use these tools so that AI serves you, not the other way around.
And finally, the fifth pillar pulls it all together for the long haul. This isn't some weekend workshop.
The idea is for this to be a lifelong ecosystem for human development, a place you can always come back to keep strengthening those muscles that machines will simply never, ever have.
And here they are. These are the muscles you'll grow: empathy, leadership, emotional regulation, cultural intelligence, communication, ethical reasoning. These are not soft skills anymore, folks. These are the new power skills. They're the most durable, most valuable skills for our future.
So, when you boil it all down, after all these pillars and ideas, what's the simple truth? What's the goal? It's actually incredibly simple, but so profound. The way forward isn't to become more like a machine, it's to become more human. This whole concept, this entire idea of a new kind of campus, it's not set up to compete against artificial intelligence. That was never, ever the point.
Instead, it's focused on building the one thing that AI can never create. It's building a place to find refuge from the overwhelm, a community built on shared meaning, a place where we humans can actually become more human. And that's what I want to leave you with today. As we wrap this up, just take a second and ask yourself this question personally. In this coming age of absolutely unbelievable artificial intelligence, what is it going to mean for you to become more human?